Shadow of Destiny, known as Shadow of Memories outside of North America, is a rather unique mystery adventure game released for the PS2 by Konami in 2001. While it garnered mostly positive reviews, it did receive criticism from some reviewers for its lack of traditional combat or action mechanic, which we'll get into more later on. Seeing massive releases such as GTA 3, Devil May Cry, Final Fantasy X, Silent Hill 2, and Metal Gear Solid 2 in the same year, it's really no surprise that a game like this slid under the radar. The narrative in Shadow of Destiny plays out over 8 chapters, as well as a prologue and an epilogue. Overall, the game is quite short, taking only about 4 to 5 hours for your first playthrough. However, having 8 distinct endings that are all obtainable through choices you make throughout the game, there is a ton of replay value here and you will want to see all those endings to actually figure out the whole story. I feel I should stress the emphasis on the story, as that's pretty much what the game is all about. Lacking any real action sequences, it kind of plays out more like an interactive visual novel well before the height of their popularity. In Shadow of Destiny, you take the role of our seemingly ordinary protagonist, Ike Kush. Our story begins with Ike exiting a cafe and taking a walk on a beautiful April afternoon. He doesn't manage to get very far before he starts feeling like he's being followed, and before anyone could react, Ike is stabbed in the back by an unseen assailant and left to die in an alley. Waking up in a place between the realms of life and death, Ike is greeted by a mysterious voice that we later learn is a being known only as Homunculus.
How does it feel to be dead, Ike?
Homunculus offers Ike the ability to go back in time and prevent his own death. Ike is naturally fairly suspicious of this offer, but hesitantly agrees and receives the digipad from Homunculus. This is your primary gameplay loop of Shadow of Destiny. Ike gets killed, revived, and has a chance to figure out how to prevent his own death by traveling through time. These solutions can be as simple as making sure he isn't alone at the time of his death, to going 500 years in the past to make sure a tree his killer hid behind was never planted in the first place. Along the way, you will meet a whole host of characters and their ancestors as you hop across time trying to get to the root of who's trying to kill you and why. This leaves so many questions unanswered so quickly that you can't help but continue playing to find out more and try to solve this mystery. Before everything is over, you'll have encountered everything from time paradoxes, ghosts, alchemy, and more. It's unlike anything else on the PS2 and definitely worth your attention. While this game won't be to everyone's tastes, give it a chance and I promise you won't regret it. While I have been gushing about the game up until this point, it's not without its flaws. The voice acting ranges from passable to cringeworthy at times, and the soundtrack is not something I would call music, so much as I would say it's for atmospheric tension.
I never get this guy's movies.
Who watches this kind of stuff anyway?
The Meditating Man.
Visuals are dated even for PS2 standards, with most of the textures just kind of feeling flat and lacking detail, and the animations, while decent, do kind of get awkward at times. With all that being said, none of this actually takes away from the central point of the game, its winding and mysterious narrative. Normally I would do a complete plot breakdown in these videos, but this game is all about its story, and I don't want to ruin that for those of you who haven't had a chance to play it yet. This is a diamond in the rough if I ever saw one, and I highly recommend checking it out for yourself. It's not particularly rare or expensive, and you can probably pick up a copy for around 20 bucks these days, even with the price of PS2 games inflating so much over the past year. Hell, you might be able to fire up the digipad and go back and grab a copy last year. You know what? That's not such a bad idea. Don't forget to like and subscribe!